All of the UK eats like the Germans are still flying overhead. The best homemade dinner on the planet X. Ferrell has listed his Beverly Hills mansion for $17 million. This man live in a community college. The worst part about kissing a perfect 10 is how cold the mirror feels on my lips. On reflection that's 01. Held up the grocery line because the card reader couldn't read my Apple Watch. Elderly man behind me exhales. Let's move this along, future boy. Wendy shouldn't mock people's looks, especially when she herself looks like those Morlock creatures from the 2002 film The Time Machine. Billie Eilish dresses like she got her clothes stolen at the gym, so they gave her what they had in the lost and found bin. Enough with the work from home sweatpants. Dress like the adult you're getting paid to be. I'm not taking fashion advice from a guy who looks like he runs the bumper boats at a segregation themed amusement park. Facial hair gone. For now. Let the jokes fly. You look like the bulk student they put on university brochures to show diversity. Woman moment. I prefer to just call them WOM. Don't want men to be associated with them. My man running on NCL Core i9. I spent $6,000 and over 40 hours building my 100% movie accurate Groot costume, and yet all the 8 jots in my office can't stop emailing about Shannon's dumbass toddler's bullshit baby Groot costume that honestly looks like a turd in a marshmallow. What's really ducked up, but we are pretty much okay with, the garbage pile the size of France floating around in the ocean. That's just France. Rushing off the bus this morning I slipped and fell. $2 worth of change fell out my pocket. This butch gone. Yelled damn Sonic you good. Almost snapped on her ace. This is ducked. Ducked like your face. My old school run escape videos get more views than your pun. Please don't pipe up. Why this flight attendant told somebody there is a $400 fine if you don't wear a mask. And if you had $400 you would be in first class, so I don't recommend it. Hey James, you won't remember me but me and my friends sat at a table next to you and Harry Styles plus some others in Manchurian Legends in London's Chinatown about 6 years ago. We didn't bother you, but you were a massively entitled cucumber who yelled and treated the waitstaff like shit, and when one of my party politely suggested you calm down, you got really aggressive and threatening, in a chubby way, like a boozy panda. So my question is this, why did Harry seem so cool while you were such a massive throbbing bellend? Crown virus? Who's afraid? Statistically I may have a better chance of being killed by you than the virus. So many furries in one flight. Tag them if you know them. I object to that many furries being on the same airplane, because if there were an accident it could basically cripple the American IT industry in an instant. The hardest I've ever been owned in my life was when I was 21 in Barnes & Noble and a teenager asked me where the manga section was. I told them, but also said I don't work here. They looked me dead in the eye and said I know. You just looked like someone who would know. I have 2 employees that usually leave work at 6 PM. They are good, but I don't like that their commitment lasts 4 work hours only. What should I do as a CEO? You should copy and paste this complaint into a table in Microsoft Word 2007. Print it double-sided in landscape mode, fold it in half 8 times, soak it in olive oil, and shove it up your ace. My mom has a new boyfriend and recently he said that NFTs are ugly cartoons and a multi-level marketing scheme for beer gins. When I tried to explain the fundamentals of the bulk chain to him, he said that he right-clicked on your mom's catty last night. Any advice? What do you genuinely not understand? How I get taller and more handsome every time my grandma sees me. She shrinks and her eyes get worse. We can now create life without the need for spam or eggs. Imagine being born this way, then getting in a roast session in grade school. Tommy, I know you artificial ace ain't talking. How you get made in a whole lab and still ugly. She won the gold medal. I think she knows how. Does it look cool? Yes. Will their wrist shatter the moment they fire? Absolutely. Beanbag shaped mayonnaise filled men trying to explain to a gold medal winning female athlete how her sport should be done. Classic. I've ducked dozens upon dozens of women, and not a single one was able to cram. It's biologically impossible for women to achieve awesome. I don't know why you'll just be lying on this app for no reason for. Waterboarding couldn't have gotten this out, Tammy. Hey, I need a favor from your parents. I want to have a handsome baby. How can my parents help you in that? Can you ask them which position they ducked in, so I can avoid it? Do an egg reveal. My father says I look like a goat. Is it true? Okay, send us your picture, let's compare. Overheard one kid at the Mall of America tell his friends he had to get his wisdom teeth out, and his friend says why? Gotta make room for more nuts. And wow, insults have really come a long way since I was a kid. Me and this little old Mexican lady were talking in Spanish, and this old white butch in a wheelchair said, "We're in America, why don't you speak English?" And the little Mexican lady told her, "You have legs, why don't you walk?" I nearly died. I gave her free coffee. I'm part bulk. Yeah, right. A C major on a piano has more bulk than you. Lil Pump slams Eminem on Instagram as lame as hell. At least Eminem doesn't bear a resemblance to a vandalized pineapple. Imagine buying an expensive stroller for an ugly baby. With this reasoning, your mom must have pushed you around in a wheelbarrow. Guys in college really be dating high schoolers like, bro, focus on your major not your minor. Why do British people still eat like they're in the 1800s and don't have electricity? Yorkshire, we have an important question. Christmas cake, with or without cheese? Why do Americans eat like they have free healthcare? Mark Zuckerberg always looks like the guy in a zombie movie who's been bitten, but is trying to keep it a secret from everyone. Christian girls be like, there's no one else on the planet like this man. God broke the mold when he made you, and it's just Connor, human equivalent of a Honda Accord, whose favorite food is toast and thinks taking off your bar is adequate foreplay. What it look like I do for a living? Terrorize the Powerpuff Girls. I'm so in love. This boy makes me the happiest person ever. The things he does, the things he says, his humor, his smile. He looks out for me. He helps me. He's the definition of a dream guy. That's all. Remind me. 1 year. I often daydream about winning the Powerball and buying the licensing rights to Friends just to edit out the laugh tracks, then releasing it back to the public for free so everyone can finally understand how unducking funny that shutty show actually is. Damn bro. You used to look like a Greek god and now you look like you listen to podcasts. I thought I looked nice in my sweater, but my fiance said I looked like a retired member of the X-Men. I wish for the ability to switch between normal sight and sight that makes me see all the people that want to have sex with me. Granted, you now have the ability to close your eyes. Justin Bieber looks like he's posing for a success story picture with the executive director of a rehab for the brochure they give to new patients. Insurance adjuster be like, $11.50 best I can do. They had 30 copies of Fallout 76 before the looting started. After the dust settled, they had 40. You look like the human version of Mark Zuckerberg. Mariah Carey beginning with "I don't want a lot for Christmas" and then revealing she wants you is such a good burn. There are approximately 1,010,300 words in the English language, but I could never string enough words together to properly express how much I want to hit you with a chair. Alexander Hamilton to Thomas Jefferson. He looks, if you take off his glasses his nose comes off with it. The Olsen twins look like one of them knows how you die and the other knows when you die. Niggas be so ugly and be in my DMs like, sir, please, you making my eyes hurt. Bye. Yeah, keep talking. Disgraceful conduct, sir. I challenge you to a handball match for this lady's honor. Meet me at her forehead. This is the most humiliating day of my life. Hello Alexander. Hope your evening has been most enjoyable. Would you care to receive some artful photographs of my need form? Why do you flex like Jigsaw? Some people have resting butch face. Adam Driver has resting professor of theology listening to his students present a report on religious symbolism in medieval art that they copied off of Wikipedia face. Odell Beckham Jr. hits the beach in Cancun with girlfriend Polixeni fearfully. Neg dating a prescription dog. Q is too high up in the alphabet. I respect it, but it has no place between P and R. Should be at the end with the weirdo or goth letters. He is truly most beautiful human being ever. Wow. You can literally drive to your local gas station and find at least 3 people that look like this. I have never been so visibly disrespected in all my life. Use your creativity for good, not evil. Jennifer Lopez says men are useless until they turn 33. JLo was swiping on Tinder on behalf of a woman called Brooke, who was looking for love. By all means, let's give a damn about relationship advice from a woman that collects engagement rings like she's Thanos. Why don't more bald men fight like this? Fun fact, when pachycephalosaurs slammed their bald heads into each other, they slowly get intense brain damage. Millennia later, their descendants are equally stupid reposters like you. How is it that the Madame Tussauds wax model of Mark Zuckerberg looks way more like a real person than Mark Zuckerberg does? Oh my god. Guy drove like a nut and sped through a school zone, only to end up at the same parking lot. You drive like your patience is shorter than your nut. Rate my professor is really something. Awful. BO66. For credit, NA. Textbook used, no. Grade received, NA. Attendance, NA. Would take again, NA. I never wore my seatbelt while driving to school because I wanted to die before making it to his class. I'm only 19 and I pay my own car insurance, bills, and have my own place. You're 20 plus still living off your parents' lol. You live in Indiana. Your total costs per month is probably $2 and a sack of corn. They cancelled E3 cause they know some unhygienic gamers world have been in there smelling like spoiled deli meat and corona would have evolved into the T-virus in that environment. Smart move. We need a slur for toddlers. In Polish we have garniaki, which roughly translates to shutlings. One time in middle school, I dated a girl for 4 days, and when she broke up with me, she posted on Facebook, "Sometimes your knight in shining armor is really just a loser in tinfoil," and to this day, that's the sickest burn I've ever gotten. Imagine letting a dude with that skull shape and jawline convince you that he is superior to you in any way. Dude looks like Don Knotts had a baby with Don Knotts. These are 4 separate movies. And he gets paid a ton to play the same role of a confused meatball in all of them. Oh so sorry for truck drivers. They make their living setting on their race. Too lazy to have a real job. The next time you go to the store to buy all the shit you need, I think you need to remember how all that shit got there for you. Truckers are away from friends and families with children for weeks, sometimes months at a time, just so you can buy that cucumber your wife is gonna duck herself with later, while thinking of your neighbor. For anyone wondering, the breed is Adam Driver. Unnatural hair colors in women are a warning signal to stay away. It's an example of parasitism, the phenomenon of poisonous animals in nature advertising their toxicity and lethality. A parasitism is there to warn off predators, not sexual partners. If you're repelled by it, it's working. Animals be 20 minutes old and already know what to do. Meanwhile human babies come out with a spot on their head that ain't finished yet and the communication skills of an alarm clock. I have to agree with this tweet unfortunately. Macy Williams looks like a very young grandma. Where's Harry and Ron? Malfoy looks like the uncle we all got that comes and whispers to your ear, "You got any girlfriends, champ?" 4 feet 11 inch hop. Try again. Not the icebreaker you want to go with. Do better. Keep being a little butch and I'm gonna come over and hide all your stuff on the top of the refrigerator. Rumor has it that Randy Savage once tested positive for traces of blood in his cookware system. His friend looks like a mannequin with the head on backwards. Please know, if you're someone who brings a book to the bar, nobody likes you. How much of your life, expressed as a percentage, have you spent gesturing for women to take out their earbuds? Who the duck is Ozzy Osbourne? This is why I love Post Malone for shining light on unknown artists. Ozzy Osbourne was snorting lines of ants with Motley Crue before your father was having wet dreams about your mother. Holy duck, so many girls are still shaming other girls for masturbating, or ashamed of themselves for doing it. Like, grow up and buy a vibrator. Jessica, it's almost 2019. Your boyfriend thinks a cliff tourist is an island off the coast of Vietnam. That one bulk person you can play as in a 1998 to 2005 snowboarding game. There's nothing more satisfying than being prettier than your ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend. Fact that he's not going for just looks anymore means you taught him a valuable lesson. Nice chat. Okay. What are you doing on Fraser Island? Working. What do you work as? By chance anything related to the English language? Food and beverage? What? Look Chloe, I'ma be blunt. I could yell into a ravine and the echo I would hear could hold a better conversation than this. The Guardian. Joe Rogan admits schools don't have litter boxes for kids who identify as furries. Schools barely have lunch for kids who identify as hungry. When you're basically the only person in the store not wearing a mask. Yes, and even though Miss Piggy is merely a puppet made of cloth and wire mostly, she still have more brains. After 3 days of eating in England, I now understand why Gordon Ramsay is so ducking angry all the time. The beauty of their women and taste of their food made the Brits the best sailors in the world. Kids form human arrow to point police chopper toward suspects on the run. What kind of snitch chased Children of the Corn type shut? The bar was so low, it was practically a tripping hazard in hell, yet here you are, limbo dancing with the devil. OP, this is such a raw line, what the duck. Judge Judy, if you were the trophy at the end of my race, I would walk backwards. Shut up cracker. Man, respectfully, you about as bright as a bulk hole, and twice as dense. Message text. It must have been a sad day when you slithered out of the Adorsheim bucket. Sorry emo girls, but Andy Bisak isn't that heat. He looks like if Sheldon had an emo phase. George Carlin said, think of how stupid the average person is, and realize half of them are stupider than that. What real life example have you seen that validates this view? There is a considerable overlap between the intelligence of the smartest bears and the dumbest tourists. Yasa, my park ranger, on why it's hard to design a bear-proof garbage can. This man looks like if a Disney prince grew up in a bad neighborhood. My daughters used to look up to Malia Obama, but not anymore. I won't let my kids look up to that ghetto Dargadbeek mess. If your daughter inherits your neck, she won't be able to look up to shut. Baby boomers did that thing where you leave a single square of toilet paper on the roll and pretend it's not your turn to change it, but with a whole society. Who the duck are any of these people? And who the duck are you, cucumber? I just tried to say your name out loud and my furniture started floating. Leonardo DiCaprio is reportedly dating 19-year-old model Eden Parley. He's like my employer paying minimum wage. You know he'd go lower if it weren't for the law. In Halo, a small, wrist-attached grappling hook is able to latch a 1000 kg suit of armor onto a 150 kg alien without moving it. This simply wouldn't be possible in real life. You should have been shoved into more lockers in high school. Please, roast me. Girl, you look roasted enough. Amazing. Roast me back. What did the 2 say to the 9? Please roast me. Ha ha ha. You have the aim of a person who has a good paying job, a wife, and a family. Best way to insult a gamer. There's catfishing, and then there's whatever the hell this is. What a weird way to announce to the world that you've never had a girl sleepover. Lol, the far right leader looks like Elon Musk lost it all and decided to start a vape shop. We're thinking about Bo today as he is in surgery. I want to apologize to the cleft community. Who is she to talk about someone? She looks like E.T. when he was dressed up by little Drew Barrymore. Don't believe me? Google E.T. dressed up. The spread of crown virus is based on 2 factors. 1. How dense the population is. 2. How dense the population is. You wrote the same thing twice. What's the other one? You're number 2. You look like the type of guy to go to a Mexican restaurant with his 2 kids and wife Jessica, and at the end say, well, you kid is ready to vamonos. Sorry to say, but this is not my Ariel. I'm not recess bet. This is out of my expectations. Bartamy, you can't even pick your own husband. What makes you think you can pick your own Ariel?